Hey everybody, don't worry, I didn't die. That was just my little having fun with the video. You know, that was my little homage to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And thank you for clicking on this video. And today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite horror films. And for some of you, you might not like horror movies. And so I don't want to waste your time, so you might as well just go ahead and click off, because this isn't going to be for you, because I like some pretty crazy movies. So, with that said, since we had the little Psycho wannabe type thing at the beginning, I'll go ahead and start with that. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And I wouldn't really consider this a horror movie. It always gets classified as that because it was a shocker of its time. So it's more of a shocker type movie. It's not really a horror, more of a horror film. It's more of a film noir mystery. But it's about a woman who, you know, takes off with some money, and she stops at a hotel, and she's in the bedroom, and she starts to feel like maybe she should go back. And so she gets in the shower. She was planning on going back to the city that she came from and returning the money and everything. And she's murdered in the shower in its famous shower scene. And the motel's owner is Norman Bates, who, he's a really nice guy. And, he realizes his mother is the one who killed the woman, because his mother doesn't want anybody to get in between her and her son. So, and the movie is basically about Norman investigating, her family investigating and stuff. It's a great movie, and if you notice, if you haven't seen this, I'm not ruining anything for you, but there is an extremely twist ending, and it's awesome. And for you guys that know what I'm talking about, it's awesome. Halloween, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Not the new junk that Rob Zombie does, which I hate. The original John Carpenter Halloween. And the first one that I saw was at one of my friend's house, and it was a Blockbuster VHS that had additional footage. And up until recently, I never saw any of that additional footage on DVD until they came out with this extended edition. And apparently, when they showed the movie on TV, they needed to film scenes so they could cut down on some of the other violent scenes, which this movie is actually not violent really at all, other than the story. And if you watch it, you'll realize that there's not really hardly any blood. There's just one little scene of blood, but other than that, blood is down to a minimum. And Halloween is one of my favorite movies because of it's just thrilling, and it will make you girls never want to babysit again. So definitely check this out. 4 movies are, which a lot of you may already know of, are the Night, Day, and Dawn trilogy of zombie movies. But I said 4 because George Romero made Night of the Living Dead on a very low budget. It's a very good movie, very good shocker. It's about a group of people that are stuck in a house during a zombie epidemic, and it's a great movie. Dawn of the Dead, which came out about 10 years later, it is about the zombie epidemic, which I've talked to you about before. This is one of my all-time favorite movies, about a group of people hiding out in the mall and trying to keep away from the zombies. Then there's George Romero's Day of the Dead, which came out in the 80s, and this is about a group of people that are in a kind of a underground bunker, and it's kind of led by a military type group, and the military leader is ruthless. And for those of you that are wondering about that like gory movies, this movie contains some of the most realistic gore you will ever see. That's awesome. You got to see this. And then recently they came out with Land of the Dead, which is part of it. And this movie was pretty good. It was, I thought, going to be a lot worse because George Romero decided to use CGI. But, it's a good movie. I think George Romero has lost his touch with, whatever that one is with the video camera and Survival of the Dead, which I hated. But definitely check these out. The next movie is, you can't really find it anywhere. It's considered the most widely banned, controversial movie of all time. In fact, the director of the film was actually arrested on murder charges because they thought that people actually died in it. And this movie is Cannibal Holocaust. And you will never be able to find this movie at any Blockbuster. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but it is a very graphic movie. And the name is Cannibal Holocaust, but it's actually not as crazy of a story as it may seem. It's about a professor who sends a group of people out into, I think the Amazon, to learn about a group of people, and they were going to film this documentary while they were doing it. And the professor never heard from them again, and he figured they must have died or whatever. And so the professor goes on a trek out to the Amazon or wherever it takes place, and gets to know the people that haven't been civilized. It's like uncivilized people, and they give him footage that they got from the people that were his people that were there. And the professor goes back. He realizes that they're dead. He goes back and looks at the footage. And the second half of the movie is the footage of what happened. And apparently the people completely went insane and started murdering people, killing animals. And the footage is extremely graphic. And this movie, it's great. It's not for it's very good, and it's a masterpiece, but it's not for everyone at all, because it is very violent and very graphic. But it is a good movie that shows how the difference between an uncivilized human being and a civilized human being, and how far we've come. And this movie I wouldn't even consider really a horror movie. It's kind of a documentary slash, it's not a mockumentary, but it's more of a statement. Like, I don't consider this any more thrilling than I do, like a movie like Seven or something like that, because that's not what it is at all. I guess in the realistic sense, it's kind of like Apocalypto, and graphic. It's not any more thrilling than that. So, but it gets a bad name because it was banned and everything. But it is extremely violent and extremely graphic. And it's just insane. But it's a great movie, and it's not for anybody, or it's not for everybody. And neither is this next movie, which is Wes Craven's Last House on the Left, which is about a couple girls who go to a concert, but before they get to the concert, they want to get some drugs, and they are tricked by some convicts, and they're pretty much abused and raped, and one of them is actually murdered, and the other one, they think they killed the other one. The other one escapes, and it happens around in their the girl's lake house, which her parents are at, and the people that were doing the crime, they realized they needed a hideout, so they go to this house to hide out. But actually, this house ends up being the girl's house that they thought, that escaped. And so the parents realize this, and the rest of the movie is just them getting back at these guys, and it's an awesome movie. It's extremely low budget. It's pretty graphic. It's banned also in many ways, but it's a pretty cool movie. And I said it was a pretty cool movie, but I would not watch this with the ladies, guys. So, and they had a remake which was okay. Of course, Pet Sematary is an awesome movie. The name pretty much says it all with the plot. These people move in next to a pet cemetery, and I don't want to blow the plot for you, so just make sure you go see this. It's by a Stephen King book, so check it out. I love the Friday the 13th movies, and my favorite one is Friday the 13th Part 3, because this is the first one that I saw. And the reason why I like it is because it's partly because of the fact that the hockey mask is introduced in this movie. And I actually met the filmmaker, Steve Miner, of these movies, and I got his autograph, and I got it in my Friday the 13th Part 2 DVD case, which I should have showed you, but sorry. I'll show you some other time. But nice guy, great movie. Alright, and I think that's it. That sums it up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my little Psycho, my rendition of Psycho at the beginning of this. I want to give a shout out to Robbie Webster. Y'all need to check out Robbie Webster's videos on YouTube, and you need to check out Sean C. Phillips on YouTube. You need to check out MJ Kelly on YouTube. So many other guys that I need to have a shout out to that will in the next video, and they're on my channel as subscribers, so check them out. And thanks guys, have a great day.